Hi there everybody, it's UK independent demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.com. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm using the new Timeless Tropical Cling Stamp set from the Mini Catalogue by Stampin Up. This is such a cute suite. It is on page 38 and 39 and it is the Tropical Oasis suite. So you have some gorgeous papers, this stamp set, some matching dies. If you get the bundle, there's 10% off. There's also some elements and trinkets and different bits and pieces. And remember, if you spend £45 out of this catalogue, you get a free item out of this one. So the card we're making today is this one. To start off with, I wasn't quite sure if I'd made it too bright. However, once I'd added and finished off all the elements on it, I decided I hadn't, and I quite liked it, and it's now one of my favourite cards. It's really glittery as well. I have covered it, I don't know if you can see, in Wink of Stella. Just the blue bits, I've popped so much on there, it glitters gorgeously. So let me show you how to make it. You're going to need a piece of Whisper White that is 9.5 centimetres by 13.8 centimetres. And you want some post-it notes because we're going to do some masking. I'm going to be using the big flower first. And first of all, I'm just going to get my masking pieces ready. You need 2 or 3 of these. So I'm just going to ink that up. Okay. It's not precise stamping on here because you're only getting your masks. Now save using this and stamping and cutting and stamping and cutting, you're much better to grab 1, 2, 3 pieces off your post-it note and cut them together. Looking at the card, actually I can only see that I'm going to need 2, so I'm just going to get 2. Okay, I'm just going to give it a few seconds for that ink to dry, otherwise my hands are going to get absolutely filthy. So while I'm waiting for it to dry, I'm going to stamp on this corner. I'm going to do something very unusual for me. I'm going to stamp on my filming grid paper. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know that I hate getting this grid paper dirty, and I normally bring in a piece of paper to put underneath. But the previous project I did, I went over the side with my pineapple punch blend, so it's already dirty. So I'm just going to stamp that into the corner. Like that. I'm just going to grab this one now and I'm going to fussy cut around it. I'm not going to be too precise, I just want the general shape. If it's a little bit out, it's not going to bother me because I'm going to come in with so many different coloured blends, but it's really not going to make any difference. And you know me, I love blending. So the idea when you're masking normally is to go just underneath the stamped lines so that you just cut them out, because the ridge of the mask and the paper stops the stamp hitting the corner. So if you just go underneath, you're probably going to get your lines lined up a bit better. But like I said, I'm not fussy here. If I was using pastel colours, I'd be a lot fussier. A lot fussier. And this on the post-it note is taking a little bit longer to dry because I've just re-inked my Memento ink pad. I hate re-inking ink pads. Simple to do and easy enough to do. However, I always put my hand in it and I get really messy. So I always leave it till the last possible moment to re-ink my ink pads. So what you want to do then is you want to stick the mask over the top. Now there's a couple of differentiating sides, like here you've got the knock-in, and over this side you've actually got a little bit that sticks out, so you can work out roughly where your mask will go. That's where that one's going, right there. I'm just got to work out where the sticky bit is. So I'm going to ink this up again and go again. And I want to get about 6 stamps of this up and down my card. So I'm just going to do that bit there. don't want to completely cover the background. I do want to have a little bit of the background on show because I'm going to colour that in to match the backing paper and the ribbon. So I don't want to be too heavy-handed on using this. There we go. One just there in this corner. Bring this mask up. Sit it down. Isn't this gorgeous? It's as if Stampin' Up! Know we're going to want to colour it because they've already done the shading on it. I know. I do like it when they do that, because when you actually come to blending, and I'll show you in a minute, it makes it so much easier because it shows you where you can and where you can't apply the ink, and it gives you great tips. There we go. There's my card. I'm just going to pop that to the side because while I've got my Memento ink out, I want to get my other bits stamped. So first of all, I don't think I have enough scrap paper. We'll soon find out. I'm going to do the thank you. Now this was frustrating to me, really frustrating. It depends how OCD you are as to whether this is frustrating to you. But the U is in centre with the thank. It doesn't include this great big swirl. So when you actually use your scallop punch, so I'm using the 1 3/8 of an inch, and you put it over, you'll actually notice that to get the whole thing in, the U isn't centre. So I'm just going to bring it over and put the U in the centre because that's how I like it, and cut a little bit of the K off. Up to you how you do it, but my OCD wouldn't let me do anything else than have the U in the centre. And then I want to stamp this leaf and this flower. What do you think? Is it going to fit? Is it going to fit? Let's give it a try. So if I put the leaf over there. See what I mean about the shadows in this set? It's gorgeous. And this flower, do you reckon? Do you reckon? Is it gonna? Is it gonna? Aha! It did! Enough space on my scrap paper, but then that is the scrap paper gone. Who else does that? Uses the scrap paper all the way down to the very skeleton of it. So those are all my bits. I'll put those to the side because I'm going to bring those back, but I'm going to colour in first. So for the colouring in, I'm going to use the Seaside spray, dark and light, for the background. And I'm going to do that first for you. So I'm going to go around there with the dark. And create a frame. Once I've done that, I'm going to come in with the light. I'm going to go over the dark and push it out. Really blend it. To get the background piece going. So that's how my background's going to be done. I'm really going to go into the corners with the light so that I can blend it as much as I can. I know normally when I do outlines I like to keep the two colours so you can see the difference. In this I really don't, because the beauty is the flowers and not the background. Okay, with the flowers I'm going to be using the dark and light Calypso Coral, the dark and light Mango Medley, the dark and light So Saffron, and then the dark Pineapple Punch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll show you one and then I'll put the video onto a time lapse, that's the word, while I do the others so you don't have to sit through them all. So with the dark Calypso Coral, I'm going to come in from the sides. On each side of these flowers there is a see-through bit that's just white. can see that. So it's actually there on each one. Okay, I'm then going to branch it out on each bit. I'm not being too precise about the dark colours because this is going to have so many colours go over the top. Be careful of the inside of the flower because you want that to be yellow, and you can't, once you've done it Calypso Coral, you can't put the yellow over the top. So I'm coming in with a lighter Calypso Coral now, and I'm going to follow that through. Like that. I'm not going over the dark, I'm just touching it. I'm pushing it out. But I'm not over the top of it. It's up to you. You can use the bullet or the brush. Because it's in the centre, I'm using the brush because I can just get a bit more quicker done. And when it gets towards the edge, I will use the bullet. I'm going to use the bullet for the dark mango medley. And I'm going to go over all of the bits that Stampin' Up are saying should be shadow. So you can see the shadows on this stamp set. Go over them with the mango medley. All of these lines should be darker than everywhere else. So just go over them. And just so you can see the colour, just go to the side of them as well. You don't want to be totally, you want to be over the top of them, but you also want to be just to the side so that it shows. Okay. It should then look something like that. Light mango medley. Just a bit of shade above the light Calypso Coral. And then you also want to just get the tips of your flower as well. Finally, sew saffron. Start from the middle, push it out. And you're going over everything here, but you're not going all the way to the end. Okay, so you can see the colour start to change, and then you're going to come in with a light sew saffron and you are going to blend it all in together. If you want this to go darker, and I do because I want this to be really bright, I really want it to pop, you're just going to go over it again. Okay, so you're going to bring the colours back in. So I'm going to come back in with the dark Calypso Coral, back over. Alright, I'm actually going to skip the light Calypso Coral because I can still see it. And I'm going to play with the mango medley. This is a lighter mango medley. Just push it all out again. The more you go over the top of the colours that you've used, the brighter they're actually going to come out. So you want to just keep playing with them. And then over the top again with the sew saffron just to finish that back off again. And like I said, you can keep building it. The lighter Calypso Coral, I should have put it on where I wanted it. I should have done that. So I'm just going to pop it over the top. And again, I'm going to blend it back in again. This is the great thing about the blends. You can keep building the colour up. So blend it in. As much colour as you like on it, and then you're using the bright pineapple punch to do the middle bit. Okay, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this onto quick speed and finish all of them, so you can join me when the whole background bit's done. Okay. So that's your background all done. I'm just going to come over with some Wink of Stella and I'm going to pop that over the top there. Tell you what, I felt like I was a naughty kid in school then. Normally when I craft, I have either a TV programme on or some music on. And then normally if I'm filming, I talk to you, or I have it as a time lapse and I have some music on. But because I went to a time lapse through me actually filming, I didn't put the music on, I just carried on crafting, and it was so quiet. Honestly, I felt like I was in the naughty chair. Didn't like doing that. I like noisy crafts. What do you do while you're crafting? Do you all listen to music? I listen to music. Normally musical type music, and then I can sing along very badly, very badly. Because sometimes I worry when I do my time-lapse videos that I'm going to sing along and then I'm going to forget to turn the sound off when I time-lapse it, and you'll all hear me singing. That's an actual fear. So I'm just going to fussy cut these elements out now. I'm going quite close to the lines, or I'm aiming to go quite close to the lines. Let's cut that out, that'll be easier. I hate having a big piece of paper wafting around when I'm fussy cutting. This doesn't have as much detail going into the blending. I don't use quite as many blends. But I have an actual love for the blends. I know we all joke in my team that if something looks like it could be blended, Helen's blended it. And whenever I look at a stamp set, I'm like, that would look good with blends. And there's a lady on the team called Verity. And Verity's lovely. But whenever there is a project that needs a blend, Verity will be like, oh, and Halsey's blending again, or we've got blending again from Slim and Stylish. And yeah, it's true. I love them. And I actually like them because of the ability to colour them and then colour over the top and over the top and over the top and get your own colour and build it up as you go. And I don't think you can make a mistake with the blends. If you make a mistake, you can just go over it. You can. There's so many different things you can do. And I mean, there's the lifting, the colour lifter. You could actually use the colour lifter over the edges there, but I've used a lighter blend, so I don't really need to, but I just love them. If anyone said to me, sell me one thing from the catalogue, I would sell you every single one of the blends. So there we go. Like I said, I'm not going to go into this as much, so I'm going to use the light flirty flamingo. on the side. I thought that was the bullet tip, so I am just going to detail that with a bullet tip because I thought I was just going into the corners. Look what happens when you don't pay attention. Dark mango medley through the middle. Light mango melody just to push it out. Then I'm just going to finish with the darker So Saffron from the corners back. Not as many colours in it and not as detailed, but then it's a smaller flower and it's going to be going over the top, so I don't want to really have it detract and have it the exact same colour so it blends in. I want it slightly lighter, and that's why I haven't used all the colours. For the leaf I'm using Old Olive, and I'm just doing the veins of the leaf in the dark, and then I'm coming in with a lighter Old Olive, working upwards. There's a bullet tip to get into the bits. You'll notice I didn't chop when I fussy cut into all of the bits. I don't think it's necessary. You can do it if you want to, but I just cut around it, and I mean I was happy here that it was all around it, but it's up to you. Okay, so I'll bring my thank you back out, and also my backing sheet. So this is soft seaside spray, and I'll stick that down. And then I have the silver trimmed ribbon. I love this, the metallic edge ribbon. This is great because you can colour this whichever way you want it. So I'm using my Seaside Spray, the dark blend, and I'm just going to go like that all the way along. And colour it in. How simple is that? It's bled through, which is great. I'm just going to chop that off. I'm going to stick it over the card. I'm actually going to go, where am I going to go? I don't want it that way. I'm going to go across the join there. If you're doing this on white card and you don't want to get into a mess, you're better to wait for the ribbon to dry for a bit because it will transfer off. But because I'm going onto the same colour card, I'm not bothering. I'm fine with that. And then I want to colour a little bit more to do the ribbon. To do the bow. Do an inch or two more on that. I can never remember how much it is to do a bow, but my fear is I'm running out. So I'm just going to leave that to dry on the corner while I assemble this. You want a piece of vellum, not much. You want just enough to cut with your starburst punch. I'm starting a new sheet because I'm being extravagant, but if you have a little bit, just cut a little bit off. Let's pull that out before I rip it out of here. And then you want to build this up on your vellum. So pop some snail on the back of your thank you. Put that towards the centre of the vellum piece. And I'm putting the vellum so it tones down where that's going, so it looks on it rather than just on the white. I want some glue dots here. Okay, and a glue dot on the back of my leaf. And the leaf's going to go just to the side, the flower just on top, like that. So it can go on there. I'm just going to bow the ribbon up. So I actually didn't need that much ribbon. It's okay because I can use the rest of it for another project somewhere. I have a little drawer of all bits and pieces that has come off making things that I know that I can use elsewhere. And then when I'm stuck for ideas, I open the drawer and think, what can I use today? There we go. So it's going to go like that. And I'm going to feed this so it's inside that flower, but on top of the vellum, if I can. So it's like that, but straight. So once I've got it positioned, I'm just going to use a glue dot to stick it down. Stick that onto there like that. I'm going to do it flat. I'm not playing with dimensionals on this because I think it's already busy enough. I'm just going to stick that on. And finally, in the annual catalogue under the Parisian set, there's these champagne rhinestones, which I love, but they are just the right colour for this card. And I'm just popping one there in the middle of that flower to help with the glitter of the Winker Stella on the background. Finally, I've got my cardstock, full sheet of A4, cut in half, scored in half. I'm just going to bend that over. Bending it over this way because I've got a mucky on there and I can just pop the top over the top and you'll never know it's there. And there we go, a slightly longer card than usual, but I think it's so worth it. I think it's beautiful. Quite detailed and quite complex. And I'm sorry it's on messy grid paper. Hang on, I can solve this. Our grid paper packs are amazing, aren't they? There we go. Thank you for joining me. If you like this set, do check it out in the mini catalogue. You can purchase it from my website, so head to slimandstylish.com and head up to the top where it says buy on the header and head into the store. It's called Timeless Tropical and there are lots of different bits that go with it. And remember, if during Sale-a-bration you spend over £45, you get a free item from the Sale-a-bration catalogue. Thanks for joining me today. If you've liked this project, do subscribe and check back for future projects. Bye!